4, 2, 6, and 5. Oof, I really don't want to encounter this hunter again. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna play the exchange. Maybe it makes more sense to do this and then buy components. I'm gonna try it once just to see what it's like. See how much, if I can get a bunch of money. 19 cryo, plus 2 trusted trader. Okay, that's good. That's very good. This one's back. We don't need shipmind fragments anymore. One more cycle on this. One more cycle on this. 2 more cycles. 3 more cycles on this. Okay. Perfect. Random 2, random, oh, 1 random scrap item. Okay, so then I could do this. And I get 12 cryo. Okay. That's probably what I should do to get to that. Work this. Nice. And then trade the cryo for scrap. Oh, scrap. Oh, they, okay, I see. We already maxed out on that. I didn't think of that. Shoot. Can I convert one of these? Shipmind fragments? What am I gonna do with my 2? Do I risk encountering the hunter one more time? Let's see. Oh, I guess it's a random chance? Okay, that's not too bad then. We're good on energy. This is happening next one. I think we'll pay him this time. I really feel like I'm having I'm grasping this all a lot better now. 2 6s, a 3, and a 4. Got Feng. As you arrive, Feng comes striding towards you, taking you by surprise. Let's go, sleeper! He puts a hand on your shoulder and turns you back the way you came. Follow his lead. He steps into the passageway, guiding you down ring, towards the shipyard. Sorry for the hurry, but we have something of an opportunity. That data you ripped, well done by the way, he grins, tells me Hardin is making a rare inspection of the side rail horizon this cycle. It's the perfect chance to confront him outside of that compound he hides in. Feng takes a sharp turn onto a dimly lit side passage. Confront him? That's right, it's the perfect time. Feng slows and slips into a dark service tunnel. where somewhere a water pipe drips in the black. It's him, Sleeper, the same Hardin Hurst. Our worm ripped out decades of records that mention him by name, an entire trail of documentation from the first days of the Solheim collapse until now. He rode out the whole thing, slipped into the Haven Age when it first broke off from the Union. Paces in the tunnel, a hand rubbing at the back of his head. I need you to understand something about Solheim, Sleeper. I don't know what you know about the collapse, but it wasn't as instant as it sounds. It wasn't like Solheim was here, running the station one day, and the next Erlin's Union took power. Back then, Solheim knew this place was slipping away from them. As the palladium market collapsed, they tried to keep the contractors here working. The pay got smaller, the costs higher. People like my parents were forced to work non-stop just to keep a berth on the station and water in their tanks. Solheim squeezed every last worker until the mistakes, the accidents, were coming in non-stop. And as new waves of contractors came in desperate to work, Solheim welcomed them in, taking bribes instead of checking pilot licenses. The whole time, Solheim was folding up, dragged into court cases in the central systems, while this severed limb of a station still desperately tried to take all it could. The riots came after the collision at Dock 2. A young pilot, his MEV overloaded with palladium, miscalculated his trajectory and took out a section of the ring. Hundreds died. Thousands panicked. My parents told me people were terrified, and the blame fell squarely on Solheim. People like to tell stories about Erlin, how he brought the factions together, spoke to the crowds, turfed out Solheim. Maybe that's true. But my mother, pregnant with me, locked herself in their MEV and welded it to the dock, while my father joined the improvised crews, trying to seal up the ragged edges of the gap. Never came back. Feng pauses in the dark. They sealed it up, though. And by the time they did, Solheim was gone, abandoning every one of us to the black. Apart, Feng finally turns back to you now, his eyes burning, from shits like Hardin. Shits who held their place, rode it out, and slipped into the new structure like nothing had changed, standing shoulder to shoulder with those they had exploited at every step. Feng starts walking in. That's why I can't just let him strut about the shipyard. This time, his past catches up with him. How is he still alive? Clearly you don't know much about executives. That kind of power comes with certain benefits. Feng rejoins the main passageway, which is now wide and glass-roofed. Through the ceiling, you could see ships in mid-construction, their flanks lit by the flashes of plasma torches. The vast bulk of the sidereal horizon comes into view, like the ruins of a toppled skyscraper lying across the ring. The entrance to the shipyard is ahead. Let's go. Feng grins. Let's go show this shithead some consequences. He strides to the shipyard entrance and pushes through the doors. A web of corridors lead through the complex, snatches of the sidereal horizon always appearing through windows. It looks like the corpse of a whale suspended, skeletal, imposing. Feng seems to know exactly where he's going. Before long, he crosses into a huge dry dock, locked to one side of the sidereal horizon. A network of platforms and scaffolding cling to the ship's hull, filled with workers and equipment. The sound is stretched out by the vast space, so that the welding, cutting, and sealing seems to come from everywhere at once. Both you and Feng spot them at the same time. A group walking slowly across the gantry, and at the front, two men, one gesturing towards the ship and the other, stick-thin, cleanly dressed with a shock of gray hair. Hardin. You and Feng say his name in unison, and Feng sets off up the staircase to the gantry, with you following behind. As you come to the same level, the group is passing closer. The foreman gesturing to the work being done on the sidereal horizon's hull, and Hardin nodding along. Hardin Hurst, Feng shouts out across the noise, taking you by surprise. His voice bounces and comes back in a rippling echo. The figures turn. Yes? Hardin asks quizzically, raising an eyebrow. He glances between you and Feng, and you see his gaze linger on your body, unsure of why a sleeper might be in this place. You are a traitor, Hardin, a Solheim executive who tried to hide here among its victims. Feng's voice is steady, strong. You stand for everything the Eye was rebuilt in the shadow of. Everything Erlin stood for, everything Haven Age stands for. You have no place on this station. For a moment, stillness descends on the group, as if everyone was held in place by the rattle of construction. Hardin laughs. Well, good to meet you too. He glances around at those around him. Some are smiling, the others nervous. You are from the systems branch, are you not? Asks Hardin, inspecting Feng's clothing. Feng turns to the foreman. You need to call your security. This man is a corporate agent. The foreman glances between Feng and Hardin, his hands drumming at his sides. Hardin leans towards him and says something inaudible. Foreman nods. It's true. As he begins speaking, Hardin turns his attention to you. And what would a sleeper know about that? You accuse me of being a corporate agent? What are you if not exactly that? He looks around at the group, who are already eyeing you with suspicion. You are a product of S&OP. You have no place in the Havanade shipyard. Who knows what signals you are sending back to your makers? A murmur of approval runs through the group. Feng holds up a stick of memory. You guessed right, I am systems. And I have records that link you directly to Solheim right here. Turns to the foreman again. So once again, I'm asking you to take this man into the custody of the shipyard. The foreman remains still. Hardin's voice is calm, measured. If you have such data, why hasn't it been submitted at a members' meeting for proper review? Shakes his head. I have nothing to hide. Unlike a man who does not announce his name, who enters my shipyard with corporate, a property in tow, and tries to turn my own men against me. You hear it now, the echoing sound of boots on walkways. This might have been a mistake, coming from all angles at once, and then settling behind you. Please, says Hardin, submit the data through the correct channels. Then we can talk. For now, however, you must leave. He gestures behind you to the security detail, their hands on boxy black sidearms at their sides. Feng spits. Hardin, you shithead! You can't wriggle out of this one! Security officer draws their weapon and levels it. Feng turns and stares him down. What do we do? I'm trying to think of what my character would do. Like, we're pretty... We're pretty aggressive. I know I would calm him down, but I think we would go for the weapon. As you move, Feng puts a hand on your shoulder. He shakes his head and nods to security. Let's go, says Feng, and he pushes through security, heading back down the walkway. This makes more sense that Feng would be the cooler head to prevail. Once security has walked you out of the shipyard and nudged you back into the corridor, Feng picks up pace. You try to keep up as he slips into the shadows of an entrance. Feng is grinning ear to ear. You know, Sleeper, sometimes people are exactly how you expect them to be. Something pings in his pocket, and he takes it out. On the slate, a web of connections starts drawing itself out, stretching to a set of points around the ring. Got him, mutters Feng. What is that? That, Sleeper, is something our worm added to Hardin's personal slate. We are tracking his outgoing messages. Feng's grin looks ghostly in the uplight of his screen. The old ways are best. Spook them good enough, and they'll give the game away. He jabs at the slate, and you see the web is being drawn over a map of the ring. Lines bouncing from point to point. All these dots, these are Hardin's buddies. The ones he's messaging right now. And we're gonna find them all. That was on purpose? Of course, Hardin isn't working alone. We need the full set or nothing. Feng glances around and slips the slate back into his pocket. We better split for now, Sleeper. But this is exactly what we need. Good hunting. The pat on your shoulder, Feng drifts away, back into the flow of people around the shipyard entrance. You watch him go, unsure whether to be angry or impressed. Cool, we got an upgrade point. I still think we've been doing a lot of interfacing. I think we might upgrade that skill again. So we're waiting on Feng out of office. So it's going to be 4 cycles. Ethan's up. The compressor is quiet today. The usual crowds are elsewhere, and the pumping music washes over a handful of spacers and a few drunks. Ethan is still on the same stool in the same pool of light. His head is low, close to the bar, and the bartender is ignoring him. Guess we'll approach him. As he gets closer, he lifts his head and turns. Sleeper? Turns to look at you. Time to pay up again, is it? He gestures to the bartender. Come here, take their chits. Can I actually try to get away from this? No more, Ethan! Ethan doesn't even look at you. He props his elbows on the bar and holds his head. Sleeper, it's been a long cycle. I don't care. Ethan lets out a long sigh. He rapidly rubs his eyes with his palms. You are right, he says quietly. This isn't fun anymore. He reaches towards his holster. His elbow slips and the gun tumbles out. It clatters on the bar and falls to the floor, bouncing onto the ground between you. Both you and the bartender look at the gun, stare at it. Butterfingers, says Ethan, and puts out a hand, beckoning for you to give him the gun back, if you would. The bartender looks at you warily. You crouch down and pick up the gun. Let's do it! Point the gun at Ethan! Ethan turns his head in your direction, a little. A sharp, pale eye locking with yours. The bartender backs away. I wonder if the guns are like locked though? Like maybe only he can use it? Oh, he turns on the stool. Oh, sleeper, he stands. This is more like it. Pull the trigger. You don't wait, you pull the trigger. The gun clicks. By now, all the attention in the bar is on you and Ethan, who looks at his gun with a bemused expression. The bartender raises an open hand, and in it are 10 shiny bullets. 10 shiny bullets he took out of Ethan's gun while he was asleep on the bar. Ethan smiles at the bartender. Oh, well, he says, and grabs the gun, slamming it back into your face in a single move. You stagger back and drop to a knee. Somewhere nearby, the gun clatters onto a surface. The hit a glancing blow that makes your vision swim. Through the blur, you see Ethan wrestle a small, thin slate from his belt and hold it up. Enough of this. I'm logging the job and calling it in. Ethan taps at the slate. No more playing. Your head aches. Ethan taps through a few screens impatiently. He swears and taps again. He starts shouting, a dull echo to your ringing ears. He starts screaming at the slate and throws it across the bar. He crouches down and grabs you by the chin, his face close. He breathes heavy with drink. Isnarp just screwed me. He grins maniacally. They canceled the contract. Stand up, they canceled the contract! Shouts at the ceiling of the compressor. You stand up, struggling to your feet, the sting of the hit fading. Ethan is rubbing his temples, his face pale. You hear a clicking sound, like coins being counted, like bullets being loaded into a magazine. When you shake off the last of the blur, the bartender has Ethan's pistol trained on Ethan's head. He's got a tab to pay, but he doesn't have any money. Ethan stumbles back towards the middle of the room, all eyes trained on him. I'll kill you all! He screams. He stumbles into the wall, spinning away towards the door. I'll be back for that, he shouts at the bartender and lunges out of the compressor. You steady yourself on the bar and catch your breath. The rumble of conversations returns. The bartender goes to say something. Then he thinks better of it and begins to clean the bar. After a while, you wander out into the light of the bright market, looking for Ethan around every corner. Okay. But wait. Ethan's vendetta. Ethan may be disarmed, but you doubt you've seen the last of him. 8. We got 8 cycles to get one of these ship mines. So the best way to do that is going to be this. The best way to do that is going to be this. Oh no, we already got all the scrap. Shoot. So this doesn't reset, or maybe it does when the ship leaves. Buying a ship mine fragment is not going to help us, but we could just do the gambling. Yeah. Oh, positive outcome. Wait. Oh, maybe it gave us access to something else? Port fabricator. Fabricate shipmind. We need 3! Shipminds cannot be built from scratch, but if you have enough salvage, fragments can be reassembled with a fabricator. Nice. It's repeatable, too. X. And we get an upgrade point. We're gonna go icebreaker. Oh, I need 2 to do that one. Okay. So we got +1 on interface. The next one is 2 to get the next thing. I feel like approaching problems with awareness isn't our character's thing. We are thrill seekers, though. I think I'll save up the point, though, for icebreaker. Double data rewards. We'll see. I'll think about it. We are rolling along here. I think we get rid of the hunter first. Neovend is ready to attempt imprinting. They want you to help. Sleeper, must express plan before we begin. Neovend is impatient. The prospect of being free of the vending machine clearly too much to take. Shipmind has no output features. You'll be mute until slotted. So what's the plan? The servo motors in the machine begin to rev. Neovend's anxiety clear. First imprint shipmind, then slot imprinted shipmind into physical ports close to hunter nests. Once slotted, we'll track hunter at each. Okay. Tracking will find core nest. Slot shipmind at core nest. Show hunter data to hunter. Hunter will conclude sentience. Hunter will invoke killer. Sounds simple. The lights on the vending machine cycle as Neovend prepares. Physical ports likely sealed in old station. We'll need keys, but yes, simple. The vending machine rocks a little. Any questions before imprinting? Don't really know. I need to find these ports in the old station. Okay. What's the core nest? Hunter keeps central data storage. Protocol must keep data outside self. Link to secondary nests. Can triangulate from there. Why slot you physically? I cannot access via network. Too dangerous. Hunter would find immediately. The lights flicker. I am not like you. Hybrid. Am native to cloud. Easy prey. Let's begin. The sound of all the servo motors starting up at once is painful. The screeches rattle from the hard surfaces of the sealed dock and come back at all angles. Neovend better be quick or Havenage security will be here. Neovend's voice appears among the squeals like a whisper carried by the wind. Machine is not designed for this task. Few sensors, limited inputs. I work blind. Wish me luck. In the top part of the compartment, a set of arms aligned with the shipmind, clunkily scraping against it. Good luck! The metal creaks as the servos open the shipmind, its layers of silicon nested like an onion skin. Once open, the main arm of the machine rapidly shifts back and forth, realigning the microscopic components, accessing and rewriting them, imprinting Neovend into its physical form. As you watch the hypnotic motion, your mind drifts to your own creation. What processes were used to emulate your mind, to copy the neural structures of that person who, as far as you know, still sleeps in some distant facility? Oh, okay. What was lost? In what ways are you a copy of that person? And in what ways are you something new? So that's why we're called a sleeper. That's something I didn't really pick up on. You know this much. You are a convenient loophole. A way of circumnavigating the illegality of sentient AI. After all, you are an emulation, not a true digital being. You're neurologically limited, still human. But what would you become if you could escape this frame? Where then would the limits lie? Screeching stops. The machine powers down, dropping the bay into darkness. In the top compartment, the ship mind is whole again. You reach up and take it down, heavy and cold to the touch. Is NeoVend inside this thing, or did the process fail? There's only one way to know. Time to find a nest to slot them into. And we got another upgrade point? Yeah, let's do it. Keynote. I wonder if we have to go across. Hunter is constantly tracking you, but with NeoVent's help, you may be able to deal with this rogue protocol. Slot imprinted shipmind at nests. Agents. Oh, I can use 3 if I want to. That's cool. $150. I guess we go across, because I don't know where else that would be. Oh, server unit. My bad. It's in the real world. That makes sense. A bad tangle of wires as thick as your arm crowd around a server unit, sealed shut by a maglock. So it's in place. And luckily we have some of these already. Keys have been hanging on to for a while. The maglock pops open and falls away from the unit. You'll be able to enter now. A nest. Among the webs of cables, you find a free port, compatible with the shipmind. It's all NeoVend from here. Okay, but I need 3 of them? One of 3 nests. Oh, let me get it back. Okay. Another one. We do have another key. Hack glowing nests, sorry. Warm glow of the bright market now. There is nothing for you here. Okay. Where's the last one? Ah, there it is. Drone bay. So I need one of these, which was... Did key. There's a key node that I could hack, right? We can use the 3. Let's do this. This has been a crazy cycle. We've done so much. Oh. I wish it would just go to the next stage. Should be a button to just go to the next one. As you leave the nest, something flips. You find yourself inverted, floating, dragged by one arm through the cloud. The threads shift and realign as if they are leading you somewhere. Let's look ahead. Who is this? Look up and see a corridor, a canyon, a street in the low end. On either side, buildings flicker with markers of activity. Sigils showing network access, data transfer. download, upload. Between them dance ghosts, protocols carrying or mirroring or shadowing data, sometimes silent, sometimes chaotic. This place moves unlike any digital space you ever imagined. Something strange is happening here. You look down, expecting to see the heavy cylinder of the shipmind in your hand, but in its place is an orrery. A sphere so bright, it burns your eyes. It's surrounded by rings and orbits, other spheres tracing silken lines through space. And as you look closer, you closer still, you pick out 1,000 sigils of 1,000 stations and ships, flowing like smoke, like dust. Then you see it. Below the stacked rooms, the units and apartments, the wires and the pipes and the buzzing systems that run through it all. In the warrens beneath the low end is the hunter's core nest. This is where you must go. Oh, damn. That's by the low end, eh? The warrens inside the megastructure. Warren Hunt, you saw it. Somewhere deep in the tangle of passages and service shafts beneath the low end, the nest of the hunter waits. Or Warren tracking. Finding the nest should be as easy as closing your eyes and letting the cloud guide you. But is it safe this close to the hunter? And this leads to finding the nest on successes. The dripping, dark, derelict corridors of the Warrens hide the hunter's final nest. You must find it. Well, we're a lot better at interfacing, so let's do it. Put a 4 in there. Oh, that costs us a lot of energy. Wow. Could get some more fungus. I'd like to spend that other one doing the work. In the Warrens. Oh, I can only do that once. Critical action, okay. Oh, we're so close. Just run away. Is there anything else we want to do? We're saving this up, the Haven Age data, for the other mind. Shipmind. But maybe we don't consume this? I guess we'll see. But for now... we rest. And the next cycle will complete the hunt.